Hey there, painters. So sometimes when you're doing cabinets, you'll find opportunities, niches within niches in the cabinet painting world. So for instance, here I am, I'm just doing a small gig in between cabinet jobs. This is a cabinet door. I'm doing 5 of them, just 5. And what a lot of people want when they want their cabinets painted isn't just a color on the cabinet. It is that they want the grain filled. So a lot of these raw wood doors, when they purchase them, will have kind of a grainy appearance. This is after the customer tried to do DIY it and prime it and paint it himself. So what I do to whether it was a raw door or I received this as a prime door is I first go and use my hand sander, electric sander, and the trick is to have the vacuum attached to it. So I'm actually in my home now. I brought these. It was convenient to pick up the doors on my way home yesterday, so I attached the vacuum to this, and this is a sanding screen. So there's thousands of holes there that will suck the dust up and into this vacuum. I've had other videos where I'm using this same vacuum, and you can see that I actually have the exhaust going out the house. So there's like no dust created when you use a hand sander like this. So if you just hand sand, or even if you hand sand with sandpaper with 3 holes in it, you're going to get dust all over the place. So I have found with other painting projects to set up the sanding with a sanding screen. All right, so once I sand this graininess down, these were actually like swollen. The whatever primer the person used on it made the grain not only show but like swell up. So I sanded all that down, and then I go through and do a grain fill. So here is a grain filling using this stuff called plastic wood. So that is just about dry, and this is the pink stuff that turns brown when it's dry. This has been sanded once after the grain fill. So there it is. Once this is primed, actually the next step is to prime it, and then I'll have a better view. I actually turn the light at it sideways so that I can see how well it filled. Now here is my foam roller. That's the next part. Once the plastic wood has been sanded with the vacuum sander, and it's totally smooth, I go and I roll on the shellac-based primer. Here's a shellac-based primer covered with paint, but you probably have seen that. It's shellac-based primer at a place like Home Depot. Putting on the plastic wood, it's called plastic wood. I use 2 knives and I just smear it on, smear, and I use one knife to clean the other knife. And one of the knives is actually putting the stuff on to the board. So here's what that looks like. Here's some plastic wood. Put the lid on. I actually like to have a wet paper towel in there to keep it from drying out. And here is the plastic wood, and I will use both. I'm holding the iPhone with the one hand, so I can't do it with 2 hands. But it's basically you go around the whole thing and you just smear this stuff in there. You go all the way around the door, and you can do the sides too, like the frame. All right, all the way around, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Just make sure it's thick enough, because you're just going to be sanding it down. And the idea is that at post sanding, that it's a totally flat surface. And then here's the next station. I have a 1/4 inch roller. It's no longer a foam roller because I found that the Benjamin Moore Advance paint that I like does not like foam rollers. It makes all kinds of bubbles. I don't know why. So, and I have a $30 soft bristle brush. So I threw down on a high quality soft bristle brush so that there would be less lines. And then, so after that, I do, after the drying with the primer, and then the painting of one side, one face, I put it on really thick. And it's actually, with these frames, it kind of holds all the paint in. So you make like a little, almost like a swimming pool of paint on one side. And the Benjamin Moore Advance prefers a laying flat of the doors. So I actually bought this on Amazon for like 15 bucks. This is a clothes dryer. I have like 5 of these. A clothes hanging, I don't know, clothes hanger for drying clothes, a clothes rack for drying clothes. It's actually meant to be like hung over the tub. So I actually bought those. I don't have a fancy drying rack. I just have like a bunch of those. And tomorrow, so I'm doing something else once this is done. Tomorrow those halves will be dry and I'll flip them and repaint with the Benjamin Moore Advance. And here is the Benjamin Moore Advance. This is your basic white, semi-brilliant, semi-gloss white. And then I'll go through and make sure it looks just right. And if not, I'll do a light sanding with very fine sandpaper. I'll even sand the painted surface a little bit and do it again. So it might take 2 full coats. It just depends on what it looks like and how solid it looks. So anyway, painters and DIYers, homeowners, this is what it looks like doing a grain fill. Oh, and pricing. So these were priced at $80 a door. So whenever you're doing grain filling, I mean, you could probably go higher. This wound up being like a $400 project. And probably all told, it'll take me about a day to get this all done. But I'll splice it together over the course of several days while I'm doing other cabinet jobs. So generally speaking, I'm going with $50 or $60 a door and drawer handle or drawer face when I price these out. But when there's a grain fill needed, I bump it up a bit. So anyway, any ideas or thoughts? Oh, here's something. One more thing. This is a totally useful tool. Is this thing. So this I use sometimes when I'm doing cabinets. It's a Lazy Susan, right? And it has these triangle bits on it. They're actually kind of glued on from the paint, or the triangles. I have a bag of these triangles. Pyramids, more triangles are more two-dimensional, I guess. So pyramids, and I have them on the Lazy Susan, and you can actually take a door and put it on the Lazy Susan and spin it around in order to paint all the sides. Can't really spin that one right now because there's a paint can in the way and I'm shooting a video. But anyway, hope those ideas are helpful. This one probably being the main idea, and the sanding screen, and doing a wood fill. Some people like it to be a uniform surface. So doing the wood filler, you can actually do it after painting too if you scuff it up a little bit and then prime over that and then paint. So anytime in the process you can just add wood filler if you want it to be smoother and smoother. All right, painters, DIYers, hope this helps. See ya.